there's a few drivers that need to put up or shut up. And I believe one of those drivers would be Austin Cindric. I believe another one of those drivers would probably be Harrison Burton. I believe Ty Gillian may be on that list as well. Taz, let's kind of dive into that real quick. Who, even if it's the names I've already mentioned, who do you believe is on the hottest seat right now in NASCAR? And tell me the reason why.
So, personally, so I'm kind of looking over the team driver list or whatever. And the first one that came up was Hendrick Motorsports. I think 3 out of the 4, in my personal opinion, are guaranteed safe. The fourth one, to me, in my opinion, I don't think is safe. I mean, I think what's keeping him is sponsorship dollars. That driver being Alex Bowman. If I were Hendrick, I would be concerned in the sense of, can you stay healthy for a full season? I mean, if you look back on it in the last couple of years, look back last year. He raced a sprint car and broke part of his back and had to miss out some races. I think I don't think 2022, but in 2021, I think he had something happen to miss a race or two. So my concern for that team, honestly, would be Alex Bowman. If I were him, I would say this is, for me, I would say Alex Bowman is on the hot seat. Do I think he's the hottest seat right now? No. I would say Austin Dillon out of the RCR camp, but he's got grandpa's money and everything else, so that's never going to happen. I feel like looking at the current drivers list, I feel like Harrison Burton probably is, and if it's not him that's on the hottest seat of them all, I would say it's going to be either Todd Gilliland or Daniel Suarez. And I know Chris, you're shocked. I know you're shocked on Suarez.
Amigo, andale. No, amigo.
I know you're shocked on Suarez, but this is why I say Suarez. Look at what Trackhouse has done in the offseason. He signed Shane Van Gisbergen to a special contract where basically he's running whatever races he is with Trackhouse. He's under contract with Trackhouse. He's going to run trucks, Xfinity, and select cup races. Originally not on a full-time schedule, up until Trackhouse and Colleague worked out a deal where SVG's running full-time for Colleague in the Xfinity Series. And then, so you have that going for you. Then you also have what Trackhouse has also done. They also pulled in a driver who's out on loan. For those of you sports terminology people that understand this, who's out on loan. He's under contract with Trackhouse, but he's out on loan with Spire Motorsports, and that's Zane Smith. So, to me, I feel like Suarez is kind of on the hot seat because you have two hungry drivers that are under contract with the same team, but they're on loan somewhere else. Because Trackhouse doesn't really have another car to fill the seat for Trackhouse Racing themselves. So I feel like Suarez is kind of on that hot seat there. Gilliland, I feel like, is on the hot seat too, being that, I mean, if you look at it, what was it, last year or the year before, where he raced, or after like 2 or 3 races, Front Row Motorsports told him, look, you don't have the full finances to run the full season. We're cutting you back by like 8 races. And who took that nod? Zane Smith, a Front Row Motorsports development driver. Or Truck Series driver, I should say. So this is kind of where I feel like Gilliland's kind of on a hot seat, but I think Suarez is more on a hotter seat because Gilliland, Gilliland only has one driver to worry about. If Front Row keeps with their own drivers. And Front Row's newest Truck Series driver, I don't think he will not be fully ready for Cup. He won't even come close. Unless he has like a star-studded year in Truck Series, it ain't going to happen. So I have to look at it that way in terms of what do teams have for development drivers or possible openings. And I feel like Trackhouse is that one team that has drivers ready to go or ready to come up, but you have no room to put them. And when you do have room to put them, they're going to replace somebody. And I think Suarez fits that Jello mold.
And if I were to pick one, Taz Taylor, I would have to go. You blew me out of the water. I figured you would go with Alex Bowman. I really did, based off the previous history that we've had with Alex Bowman and how we've talked about him, and we've always known that he's kind of the odd man out at Hendrick Motorsports. Knowing that his contract year is up at the end of the season, I feel like probably Alex Bowman would have been the one that you chose. But Daniel Suarez makes a lot of sense because let me tell you something. Trackhouse is making moves, and you're either on the bus or you're getting left. And if Daniel Suarez doesn't piece together some solid finishes, definitely there are some names knocking on the door to get into that facility there at Trackhouse. Now, I feel like if you're in the legendary camp of Penske Racing, and you're not only in that legendary camp, but you're also in the legendary seat of the 2-car, and you're not performing, they're going to have to make a move fast. And so Austin Cindric is the man on the board for me right now because Austin Cindric has done absolutely nothing since winning the Daytona 500. As a matter of fact, last season was partially dismal throughout the whole year. Now, this is a guy that we thought would be wonderful at road course races and really has just not been able to piece much together in that number 2 ride. Number 2 is Penske's main car. That is the fixture of Penske Racing, is that number 2 machine. Where Austin Cindric sits today, he's going to really have to pick up the pace if he expects to be Penske material. I mean, we'll get, how about pulling out an old Seinfeld reference? Are you Penske material? I'm just not sure. Only some of my older fans will kind of get the Seinfeld reference there. But